Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Now unfortunately the last video I did, if we just do this, so I've done day 6 and you'll see I've got 2 stars. Now unfortunately when I did the video, weirdly there was like an echo with the audio, so I just scrapped that video because it wasn't really useful, I guess. But what I can do is kind of just go through what the problem was and how I solved it. So if we open up this and maybe hide things there. So we're doing Advent of Code on SerenityOS. So SerenityOS is a hobby operating system written by Andreas Kling and others, and we're using a language jakt, which is an experimental language written by the same team, and yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. So on day 6, it was actually quite an easy one. Compared to day 5, I think I spent like 40 minutes just parsing the input. But day 6 is reasonably simple. So we've got a some sort of communication device, and basically we need to find a start of packet marker, and this is going to be when 4 characters are different. So our input looks like these long strings, and there's a couple more examples here. And what we're doing is we're kind of looking through until we don't get a repeat. So here we can see in the first 4 characters there's a J, then there's a J, but then like starting from the 7th character, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this M, we can, if we look back on the last 4, there's no repeats there. So that's the first time that we've got like the start of packet marker, which I guess means that the rest of it might be the packet, but that's probably going to be day 7 or some future thing. So that was part 1. So how we did this was I wrote a function is unique, and it basically goes through each character. So say in this example it would and the string we pass to it is basically substrings of length 4. So we go through starting from index 4, so we're starting from this J, we get the substring before it, so this MJ, QJ, and then we see if that's unique. And to do that we would go from the M, and then we would check whether it's the same as the J, then the same as the Q, then the same as the J. And then we'll go to the J, and then we'll check if that's the same as the Q and the same as the J, and then we'll check, well at that point it would say the J is the same, so it would return false. But eventually we will be at this point here, the JPQM, and we'll take a substring from that J, so JPQM, and then we'll start the J, see the PQM, and nothing similar, then we'll look at the P, then look at the Q and the M, compare it, then we'll look at the Q and compare it with the M, and at which point it has decided that it is unique is a weird word, I don't know why I said unique, but I suppose it's all the letters are unique, but that means it's the answer. So here we can see we just print out the part 1. I also only get the first line of input because we assume that it is only 1. Now, part 2, which I have actually done, and if we do like a weird thing to, probably not that word, but that's alright. So I got the answer, and then part 2 is rather a simple change. So instead of looking at 4 characters, we're looking at 14 characters. So all I had to do there was copy paste that for loop and change the 4s into 14. So 1 there and 1 there and 1 there, which was quite easy. I did have to change this method a bit because that was, for part 1 it was hard coded with like 0 to 3 and then I plus 1 to 4. I just changed it to base it off the length of the string, and then it would work for the 4 or 14 or any other number that you pass it, well, any other string length that you pass it. And then that was the second part of that. So yeah, I guess this was a reasonably quick video because the other one, the audio just didn't really work. What I was wondering was whether to kind of remove this read lines function, and maybe remove this from the boilerplate so it isn't like just present in everything. Now, I guess to do this, what I'm going to do is maybe just edit the boilerplate directly, and I'm going to like edit like std.jakt maybe, or actually no, I'll call it helpers.jakt, and we'll put that in there. And back in this, I think we can just go import helpers.jakt maybe with like something there, and I'll take away this because we're just not doing it that way anymore. And now if I go jakt into that, we'll see if it compiles. It does not. It overflow and checks abstraction 0 to 1. Interesting. What I think I need to do is maybe look for import in samples. Right. Yeah, so maybe this import helper. Yeah, so we'll try that. We need to go back here and then boilerplate. Yeah, so maybe we can try that. Right, so that's a bit better. Right, so I think, in fact, let's probably even scroll up. It's not. I wonder if it has like a. Yeah, I think I want this. So maybe the samples imports and. Maybe do this. Yeah, so we can kind of put it in a brace. That's cool. So we can do this read lines, and yeah, that file. Cool. So that's now compiling. It will have to do an extra build step because I assume it is now compiling the helpers. So. Like say if we do that, yeah, so now it's like, nah, I don't know how to do that. Cool, so what this means, and we'll just check that it still does what I expect it. So if we go build boilerplate, I guess, it will just output whatever is in the input file. So say if we copy boilerplate into input and run that, it will just output that. It's basically doing the same as cat input. And now that boilerplate is significantly smaller, so what I might do is actually just edit all of these and take out that and replace it with, in fact, while we're in Vim, we'll, how do we do this? be around that. Yep, except we also want that. So I think I want to find, I want to start a macro, and then find hat that, and then change up to, oh no, the other way, change up to there, and then import helpers, and then what is it, read lines. And then I suppose I want to go and search for if args, and then 4 lines gone, maybe 5. And I think that is, I just go to the command window, I don't know why I had that open. So now I think I can go bang Q, yep, and then bang bang. And some of these have like a new line that I don't really want. Cool. So that's going to make like kind of a big-ish diff. So if we look through all that, it's basically removing that read lines from everything and those comments from the main, and we can see that is just done for all the files, and it's replacing it with that helper. That looks all good. And what we can do as a sanity check is recompile everything and test that it still passes all the test cases, which is a useful feature of my test harness. Is I can make changes to all the files and like kind of pull standard helper type things out, and run the test, and it should all just pass, which is looking like it's all passing, but at the end it'll say overall pass or fail depending on how it goes. Interestingly, I've noticed in the terminal it does have color support, I think, but these pass and fails are meant to be in light green or red. So yeah, like it's got color support there, and we got an overall pass. Now I want PS1, or yeah, like I wonder how this prompt is done. Prompt, right? So it's got a prompt. Where do we have, right, so bang X and user host, yeah, that's fine. This looks like a color code of some description, and yeah, where's E? Something like that, and high, and minus E, 0M. Yeah, so that does it in green. So what I might do is, well, actually, let's add everything that we just changed. So we've got a new file helpers and modify the boilerplate, and I'm going to commit this, and I'm actually going to go editor and commit just to have it be interesting. move read lines into helpers.jakt. Now the boilerplate is a bit smaller and easier to read. Man, that font is doing some weird stuff. I've got it on like a big font. This isn't the standard font in Serenity. I've just got it on the big one because people might be watching on any size screen, so who knows. Looks like I've got like a memory leak as well. I've had this running for quite a while, not that many days. I guess uptime doesn't work as expected. But yeah, like we are using a bit of memory. Or like, are we? No. Yeah, we're using like 700 megs of our gig. We should have more than 1 gig. I think when I restart it, I'll have to set the variable to not just have 1 gig. But 1 gig seems to be working alright. I had it on more when I was actually going to GitHub direct, because GitHub has got a bit of memory usage. So what was I doing? I was wanting to get color. Yeah, so right, so I use like tput. So what I might do is actually edit that in a different file, and maybe pull that there, and I've got that window. Yeah, just to know where the camera is. Right, so tput probably doesn't exist. It does. Set AF64. What does that do? It does nothing. Yeah, so we don't have the set AF. I think I want to break out of the terminal and tput set AF64 and maybe do something like that. So that does that format. And so we can see what that does. Bang 38 564M high and something like that, and reset it after. So that's the green that I kind of picked there, and 64 for some reason gets it. What we could do is hope that where is it? Wikipedia.org. Maybe if I went to EN, well, it'll just tell me once it loads. English. Thank you very much. Doesn't have support for some fonts, well, some Unicode characters, I guess. Right, so that doesn't work. I guess we can do the screen here. And what was the yeah, that's what I did. So 32 and 1 for the bold. I kind of wanted to show some documentation on it, which I guess I could open up another browser here. In fact, we could try coding, not coding, source OSDeb and Ladybird, and maybe build and Serenity source and Ladybird, that one. And en.wikipedia.org. See if that loads. Right, so that crashes as well. interesting. But what we can do is say chromium and wikipedia.org and en dot. And what I want to look up is ANSI codes, ANSI escape code. Well, we'll go for it. Yeah, cool. And in this page, we can basically, there's like format that you send. I think I did a video on this in my operating system. I've definitely implemented this so we can get color. But yeah, so here we've got like an escape in this, so we're using a control sequence introducer, and there will be something that ends with an M, which we have seen. This goes escape, the open square bracket, then a bunch of stuff, and then that M character, and that's like the terminating character. And so if we look at this, that means it's a select graphic rendition. And so this even says semicolon separate all the arguments. So here we're going 32 and 1. And what I was trying to do before was 38 and 5 and 64. So the 30 is just setting the 30 to 37 is setting the foreground color. So that should work on both. So that 38. The 5, I wonder what that did. Slow blink. The blink is also used, yeah, so it can either blink on some terminals or it can be kind of like a bold or something, but that doesn't look bold. There's also one which is bold, but yeah, blink is, I guess I don't actually need that. And what was the other thing I do? 64. 64 ideogram stress marking, really supported. Don't know why the T-Put told me that. So what I can do is probably just set these colors to be what they should be. So green can just be 32, and we can do something like that. Now red, this will probably even tell us what red is. Red is 31. So we'll do that. The 31 and 1M, and the reset, that can be E and 0M, that's what we want. So I think if I do that test again, right, this is not liking it. I somehow need to get an escape in there. Can I do echo minus E? Echo minus E of that, and echo minus E of that. We'll try that again and run that. Cool, and now we get like a nice colourful output. So I'll just go back into this and say if we I don't know, like Vim day 1, and we can, I don't know, just go max 1 equals 5. So that should fail something. So I'll recompile should get some red in there. Yeah, so we got some fails and some green passes. Shouldn't recompile anything else. I'll just run the code, and then we get a fail in red. So that is kind of what I wanted to do there. What I should do is get rid of that and then look at my diff, not my diff, just the diff, and see what I've done. And I've just done that. Cool. So we'll commit that up. We've done that. But I might do this. Add color to test harness. It's really fixing the color. Fix color in test harness. Because yeah, it kind of already worked. And I'll push that up, and there was like another feature on my test harness that worked on my host machine, which was like the timeout, which I think we could, yeah, so like I just ignored timeout, which if we, I'll push that now, if we look at this, man. So it basically runs a command for, and it will kill it, depending on like if it still is going at a certain time. So this timeout variable, which 5 minutes. So this might be more useful later on in the problems where the problems might actually just take more than 5 minutes to run, but at the moment they all run pretty quick. Right, so this includes a compile time for that day one because we took away that thing, but now we're just not sure why it's recompiling day two, but that's all right. And it's recompiling day three. Also unsure. I guess the commit might have like done something weird. Like when I go get it like touches the file. Yeah, I'm thinking that's the reason. I might try it again. Oh well, I got a panic. So I guess this is a good chance to RAM. Yeah, so I want a bit more memory, which potentially could cause it. Oh, I don't know why I'm having to like recompile everything. I guess that's unimportant for now. I don't really want to just have a video showing a recompile. So stuff I've done is showed you what day 6 was like, and then I fixed I kind of pulled stuff out of the boilerplate so I can have a smaller boilerplate and have like a helpers file notion, which I'll add to as we go through. And I also fixed the color in the test script so it just looks a bit nicer. And I might do some other stuff to make things look nicer. Like that font was like a bit weird. I'm not sold on it. I might have a look to see how it looks on a big screen when I watch it myself. But yeah, for now, I think that's all for this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for the next video.